Thanks for tuning in. I am feeling scrappy and fabulous, and I've got some printables from In a Creative Shop that I'm going to incorporate into this week's spread, and of course, many other elements from both Allie Edwards and my Studio Calico monthly kits. So just to begin, I'm going to start by trimming down the printables from the In a Creative Shop, and I'm in love with these grid cards. Really just delicious in the colors, the nice kind of soft tone, and I think that I'll have a great time incorporating them this week and in the future. So trimming these down, and then I will figure out which ones that I might want to use in the spread for this week. Some nice yellows, some pale blues, and even some wonderful kind of light pink red lines as well. And I want to say that this printable collection may have been about $4 or $5. This is another collection from the same online store, In a Creative Shop, and these are great for summer traveling, and the tops of the cards say things like travel log and where we've been and that type of thing. So they're general enough, I think, to be incorporated into many different kind of thematic spreads. So now I'm simply going to begin to make sense of the cards that I have collected for this week's spread and begin to adhere some of the photographs down as well. And so I just adhered that kneecap foot photo to one of the printable cards. It says, "This place is incredible. A girlfriend and I went out for drinks and dinner at a new restaurant, had an absolute blast, great conversation about how you make a marriage work and what it means to be a mom and trying to work and juggle." Oh my gosh. It was an awesome conversation, and the food and the wine was exceptional as well. So it was a great night. And that's why we all need girlfriends. So next up, I have a couple of images from the Apple Store. My son cracked his phone and damaged the speaker, so we made an appointment at the Genius Bar where we were hanging out there for a bit. So I took a couple of shots of both my younger son and my eldest, just waiting for them to service us. And then another photo of the little pink drink that I had when I was out with my girlfriend. And then an image of my son in our garden. It's really doing well this year. It's on the side of the house. We have kale and chard and zucchini and tomatoes and rosemary and dill and basil. And in the morning, we go out to pick fresh herbs or kale to put in an omelet or in a crepe that we're making for breakfast. And so it's really become a nice summer morning kind of activity that the two of us share together. And so I wanted to include that photograph and also journal about that this week. So trimming down a few of the other cards here just on the bottom and the top, and then want to play around with using them. And on, Saturday, we had a bunch of friends over for a crabfish broil. Those of you from Mississippi and Louisiana know all about that lovely culinary tradition. And so we had a great time. We were jamming to 80s and 90s music and just enjoyed each other's company. So this week I also printed out these tickets from In a Creative Shop, and they are wonderful, vibrant colors. Also some lovely kind of softer tone pastels. And so I'm going to trim down some of these tickets and then see how I can incorporate them into the spread. This is a new release from In a Creative Shop, and immediately when I saw them, I knew that they would be a great buy and a great addition to my spreads, and wanted to see how I might use them this week. Again, I want to say it was like $4 to $5, but with printables, you can use them over and over again, which I just think is just a wonderful way to stretch your scrapbooking dollars. So it can be a little tricky to trim out the notch on those tickets, but you know, it doesn't take too terribly long. I also printed out another collection of printable embellishments from the same store, and I'm going to use, let's see, get some tickets and some labels there, and so I'm going to play around with those. And since I'm doing the trimming, I thought I'd just trim all of those elements first and then determine which ones would be a nice fit for this week's spread. Okay. So the other thing that I've tried to do is I've got that white and pink gingham card on the far left, on the far right hand side of the layout. And then I've got that pink and white card on the left hand of the layout. And my intention there was to create some balance with the vibrancy of those two pink cards, and then add a couple other pink elements like that totes plastic piece that I've added to that black and white photo. And so I like that. And I've got that pink in that delicious pink drink that I ordered at the restaurant. And so I thought that would be a nice balance for the spread. I'm also going to add a bit of blue to the spread this week. You see, I've got a collection of the smaller photographs, and I did that again for this week's spread because I knew we had a lot of great shots from the crabfish broil, and I wanted to incorporate more than just one or two of those photographs. And so that was a great way for me to do that. Just going to adhere down that pink piece, and we're pretty good to go there. And so that came together, I think, pretty nicely. And so now I'm just going to trim some of these tickets and labels in half and simply attach them with the tiny attacher. Nothing too complicated. Really a quick and simple way, I think, to add a little bit of interest to the 3x4 cards. There we go. And I didn't really pay too much attention or mind the some of the smaller text on the tickets. You know, they're hinting at travel and that type of thing, which I suppose is not technically thematically appropriate to this week's spread, but I'm not going to worry myself with that. Perhaps if I use the entire ticket across the middle of a card, that would have been more of concern to me. Because I'm just using a small portion of the ticket, you really don't see much of the verbiage. Okay, so I do want to add a few of the chipboard pieces from the most recent Allie Edwards monthly kit, and I thought that would be a nice little touch, again, adding color and texture to this week's spread. So another, I think that's one of the tickets while we, to the photograph of while we were sitting at the Apple store. And I'm going to play around and kind of thumb through some other possibilities and see what might work. And those blue and white chipboard pieces, those were all a part of the Drive Allie Edwards story kit. And they really had some wonderful words. And so I'm going to use a few of those chipboard pieces this week. And then this collection, I think probably also Allie Edwards with this gold text, really nice. And some of the words and phrases I thought would add a nice element. And so that particular piece says captured. Another one that I'm going to use says the little things. And another one says today. So pretty general, but just nice little touch of bling, I think, to this week's spread. And I'm going to layer those words on some of the tickets and let that stand, and then just kind of move on to the next 3x4 cards. A little bit of reordering of the cards, and I just want to kind of take a step back and look at where I am at this point in the process. Oops! All right, I kind of made a mess. I'm cleaning it up. All good. All right, so what to do next? So looking through some of the older kind of chipboard collections, I want to maybe add something else, not sure. So that photo up at the top left hand is a photo of my dear hubby and I headed out the door on date night. I had my eldest son take a picture. I told my husband to get all sexy because I was taking him out on the town. So we went to a new restaurant not too far from us, had a lovely meal and drinks. And then I took him to another little spot where they were playing 80s and 90s music, and we had another little nightcap, and he enjoyed a nice cigar. So it was a great date night, and so I wanted to add something to that photograph just to, you know, add a little element of surprise. And then you see here, I pulled out my vellum again, one of the Allie Edwards stamps, and stamped directly onto that. I cut 3 sides and then tore the 4th bottom side. And that's it. Just added that to that gray and white polka dot card. And I thought that that would fit well right next to the black and white photo of the crabfish broil, and also next to the photograph of hubby and I on our date night. And so I am getting really close. At this point, I want to add just a small element on this blue card. And so it's an older tag or card from Allie Edwards that says about me. So I thought I'd add that. I didn't want to do too much, wanted to keep the embellishment fairly kind of simple. And looking through, I want to add one simple embellishment on this gingham pink and white card. And so I found a little tag that has a little gold star. So I thought that would pull in the other little bits of gold that I've incorporated into the spread. And again, I've balanced the pink on the left and the right side of the layout this week. And we are getting, there we go, adding the photographs. I know I still need to journal. I'm in one location, and then I have a couple other cards that I need to add and lightly embellish. So just looking through, I like this white and yellow. I keep pulling this particular white and yellow card for the last few weeks, and I think I'm finally going to be able to use it. There's a touch of yellow in some of the photographs. My husband was wearing a yellow shirt at the crabfish boil, so I thought adding that yellow card would just kind of accentuate the natural colors that are in the photographs. And then I also need to add a photo to the left of our date night, or a card to the left of the date night photo. Playing around with a couple of options. This black and white cityscape are pretty doggone cool, so thought that would pair up nicely with the date night photograph. And then I need to look around to see if I can find an embellishment that will work as well. So first I'm going to use this yellow lemon for the yellow and white card. And then I find another little plastic piece from Allie Edwards that says better together. I'm like, ooh, nice. That will work perfectly with the date night photo. And then I find this simple card that simply says currently with the arrow going up. And I thought, that's it. Total simple. It's currently better together. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. So just going to adhere the two plastic pieces, the lemon and the better together, and need to select a date card for the entire spread. Decide to go with this black and white grid. Here we go. And so just want to determine which set of numbers I want to use, big or small. I'm going to go with these large black thickers. And again, this week, I'm not going to spell out week or use the WK. I'm just going to go with the big number and then stamp the Monday to Sunday dates on the card. There we go. And I didn't mess up the stamping. Woohoo! All right, and what else do I need to do? Oh, I need to glue down the lemon. Bam, I'm gonna put the lemon in the center of the card. Many of the other elements I put on the left or the right, so I thought centering the lemon would work well. Great, gonna step away, get my journaling done. Bam! Journaling done. I do tend to justify my journaling both on the 3x4 and on the 4x6 cards. And so just need to trim down so that it properly fits inside the pocket. And guess what? We are done. Yes. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you are feeling your creative juices, and hugs and hugs and hugs to ya. Bye.